Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I hope you're well.
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm also doing well. In fact, I don't know because there are many of I don't recall. I don't know if I spoke to you when the E-Levy was being passed, but the view at the time was that it was a regressive tax. Now government is taking it out. There are now questions about how would you fill that hole, among others. What do you make of this whole debate?
So, for me, the repeal is a great day for anybody who is concerned with the cashless society. Anyone who is looking more into the advanced economy. I always ask myself, Visa, Mastercard, coming from the advanced economies. You ask yourself, why are they not taxing the amount when people transfer? Clearly, from the one when the E-Levy was passed, it was a bad law. All the assumptions never worked. We were told we were going to raise 7 billion Ghana cedis. It didn't happen. We were told that we were not going to the IMF because of E-Levy. It never happened. E-Levy was going to, create 11 million jobs. It never happened. So anybody who suggested that was really not thinking through very well. And we are happy that it's been repealed. It has dragged us back. We took away the road toll, something that we could have, used to finance our roads and fix the patches. Now we lost that money. People have, run away from digital inclusion because of E-Levy. So, as a taxpayer and as a user of mobile money services, I'm glad that this regressive tax has been repealed, and I hope that it never comes back. The funny thing is that we didn't even raise any huge amount of money. Less than 4 billion cedis has been realized. So why did we have to go through all this town hall meeting? Look at the fight the parliamentarians fought when the E-Levy was being passed. It was too controversial, and it's not every tax that we have to pass. Like the Minister of Finance said, he doesn't even know how to describe it. Is it indirect tax? Is it consumption tax, or what exactly it is? I am happy that it's gone. At least I can go back and use mobile money.
I see. Aside that, for you to say you are happy, how, because it's been called regressive. What does it mean when you say a tax is regressive? And what was the confusion about whether or not it was a consumption? What was the confusion there?
So first of all, you see, a consumption tax is something that is added when there's or you pay when there's a value added when you consume something. Just like you go and buy food, then we add some percentages to the cost of the food as that taxes like VAT. That's a consumption tax. Okay, this one, I have my money. I want to give it to you. Then you say, because I am using some platform, pay tax on the money, not even on the fees, on the money. So if I have the option to come walk to your office, why wouldn't I do that? Or if I have I can even send an Uber to come and give you the money. So a tax where the avoidance was so blatant, in fact, you can choose to stop using it. It's too regressive. If the poor transfers 2,000, you are going to charge 1%. If the rich transfers 2,000, you're going to charge 2,000. A tax system is not supposed to behave like that. You understand? Especially when you have not rendered any service for me. I'm just transferring money to you. And it's affected our digital inclusion. We can't allow people to keep money in their houses. Trust me, mobile money and the digital financial service has really made a lot of money available to the banking system, and that's what an economy needs. There's a reason why we call it currency. It has to be moving around so that the economic activities can move. You remember when we had a global financial crisis? What happened? When there's no movement of funds around, the whole system will crash. It's like a friction. So the tax wasn't good, and that is why Visa, Mastercard, and everybody, they don't tax it. Imagine US, how much US will raise from Visa tax if they decided to go the way we went. How many countries do we have in the world who applies this particular type of tax? So I wasn't surprised when parliamentarians were fighting. I wasn't surprised when it took us 6 months to try and get Ghanaians buying. We were moving from region to region to do town hall meetings. Did we do that when we were passing COVID-19? No. Did we do that when we're passing the Get Fund and NDL? No. So this was completely akin to what happened to the VAT when we were introduced in 1994. You remember the Kumipreko demonstration? The people resisted it. So its abolition is completely in line, and we are back to the financial inclusion, and it's good for our country. We need a cashless society. You are preaching that you want to formalize the economy. How do you formalize it when people keep money in their pockets and under their pillows? It is a good thing. And you see, the reason why I'm saying it's a good thing is that both the MPP and NDC saw that what they did was wrong. That is why Dr. Baumia said he will repeal it. President Mahama said he will repeal it. Both of them. So it was a wrong. It was a bad law, honestly.
Then there is I think there is a betting tax. The opinion is divided on it generally. Where do you stand?
Yes, you see, betting tax came into our tax laws, I think 2015. We saw it as an investment. And betting for me is not only in Ghana. Sometimes you have to look at a system you are applying and check around yourself which other country is doing it. We have gaming tax across the globe. Okay, in our case, we said that if you win, we should take a tax on it, 10%. In 2015, when we introduced it, we were exempting first 2,592, and the tax rate was 5%. Then 2017, we abolished it. So I was of the view that we maintain it, so that at least from social, moral and ethical ground or religious views, we don't encourage gambling, because gambling really is addictive, and it will lead to some, social vices that we don't encourage. I was of the view that we maintain it. Number two, betting was giving us more money than Roto. 2023, when we introduced it, the first 6 months, I think it came in May or June, we raised 51 million Ghana cedis from betting. Then in 2024, we got 157 million cedis. At the time we were taking away Road 2, we were making 78 million cedis. So comparatively, betting tax was giving us more money. So apart from the social or religious argument, I think in terms of revenue, it was good. So my position was that we should have maintained it. However, government has promised the electorate, and so they have to deliver, especially the youth. Sometimes you can't have everything. There's a give or take. So we have given this one. It gives government the opportunity to now go on full compliance. So if you are an individual or a person in Ghana, you earn other income and you don't, pay taxes on it, then they can come after you. So I see it as a giveaway tax, which will give them some justification to go after other taxes. For example, even if they don't abolish the COVID-19 and they decide to use it for critical health or Agenda 111, they will say, oh, we have abolished lottery tax or betting tax, and therefore allow us to maintain this. That is how sometimes, politicians play the game. So even though I would have wished I maintained, it's a giveaway in order to make some further arguments from some other measures that may be introduced.
An emissions levy.
After emission levy, it was a no-no. Remember in 2021, yes, we all agree that the environment and climate is affecting us. So 2021, government said every liter of petrol or diesel you buy, we are going to slap 10 pesos on it. And today, we are paying 10 pesos on every fuel you buy. Imagine the amount of liters you buy in a week or in a year, multiplied by 10 pesos. We call it the pollution levy. We are paying it today. So where from the 2023 emission levy, that was double dipping. And again, that had nothing to do with the environment. You are saying that if someone's engine capacity is with more than 3,000 cc, the person should pay 150 Ghana cedis. Motorcycles are going to pay 75 cedis per year. I mean, how much are you going to raise in the first place? And what has the engine capacity got to do with the environment? Reasonably, I mean, let's play logic. If I use fuel a lot the assumption or the scientific reason is that I am burning a lot of fuel, therefore I am emitting a lot of CO2 into the environment. Therefore, the more you buy fuel, the more you are emitting. So it makes sense to slap 10 pesos on every fuel. I can buy 3,000 cc engine and park the car somewhere, or maybe I just move to the what do you call it, the mall, buy my things and come home. I don't even use 10 liters of fuel. I come back home the whole year. I am just moving some short distance. So what amount of emission am I releasing into the atmosphere that you are coming to charge me the 150 cities? So it was just a revenue measure which was adding additional burden on consumers. So when it was passed, I said that no, government is not being fair to Ghanaians. Let's take it off and let us maintain the 10 pesos per liter on fuel. At least that makes sense to every person you explain to. If I travel to Kumasi, I'm going to burn maybe 100 liters of fuel, and I'm naturally emitting some amount of CO2 into the environment. Therefore, the more you consume, the more you pay. Then where from this flat rate again? I think that it didn't make sense.
I see. Now, if you put all these three taxes together, they were bringing some amount of revenue that government actually needs. If you look at the current circumstance of the state, we need to pay our debts on time. Then we need to keep development projects going. Roads are in very bad state. Governments move two ways. What do you make of this decision to reduce the percentage of money that goes into the tax refund account?
So in 2016, we set up the tax refund account to cater for people who might have wrongly paid their taxes or who are duly entitled to refund, especially those who export. When the VAT system is like that, if you export and you are charging zero rate, all your inputs, we need to refund them to you. That's how VAT system works across the globe. The minister says that they have studied the trend from 2016 out to date. Only 43% needs to be made available. Now, when you read the budget, you heard him saying that about 57% has been misappropriated. The law under Section 69 says that, of the Revenue Administration Act, says that when there is money in the refund account, it needs to go back to the consolidated fund for it to be appropriated. What the minister said was that because that money was not being assessed by taxpayers, they eventually went to that account, spent it on projects which never came through the appropriation account. So what means that they are using the money for whatever it is, where it can even be good intention, but it was never appropriated for. And that is against the Constitution. You can't use government money without it coming through Parliament for them to pass Appropriation Act for you to use. So reducing the cap from 6% to 4% automatically makes 2% amount, which is close to 3.8 billion cedis, back to the consolidated fund for it to be appropriated. So automatically government has access to that money, and therefore put the E-Levy and then the betting tax together. We don't need those taxes to function, because the money that we needed it to be paid into the consolidated fund will come through the refund account. What they are saying is that, look, the money we are keeping in the reserve in the refund account is too much, and after all, people are not even paying it back to the consolidated fund for us to do the proper thing, and therefore reducing it will solve the problem. Besides that, I heard some people saying that yes, it's not a revenue generating fund, and therefore it is not an innovative measure. I think that it is, because after all, we need money into the consolidated fund. Instead of people transferring it into the consolidated fund, they go and use it for something else. At least we save Ghanaians the burden of this tax which everybody is opposing. And besides, they have promised to do some other innovative measures like the VAT reform, which we are all for it. They are also going on full compliance of other taxes, which we are all for it. These are more progressive than the taxes that we slapped on mobile money transfer.
I see. And then there is I think an increase of the. First, educate me. Is it an existing tax, the 3% on gross earnings of mining companies?
that is an existing tax. We call it the Growth and Sustainability Levy. The resemblance of it was introduced in 2001. We used to call it the National Reconstruction Levy. When Kufuor took over, the assumption was that we needed to reconstruct the country. So we call it National Reconstruction Levy. We selected some few profitable companies who were making profit, and we asked them to contribute some percentage to the country's profit. Then along the line, I think 2008, we changed the name to National Fiscal Stabilization. More or less, we want to stabilize the fiscal, health of the economy. Along the line, we took it off, and then we brought it back in 2013. Then it came as a 5-year tax. So when it is 5 years, we were supposed to take it off. It had a sunset clause. But we have observed over the years that almost immediately after the sunset clause, they go and resurrect it again. So in 2023, we changed the name again from National Stabilization Levy to Growth and Sustainability Levy, which means that companies will pay, some of them are paying 5%, the banks, the telcos are paying 5% because the assumption is that they are making some nice profit over there. Others are also paying 2.5% of their profit before tax. And then when it comes to the extractive sector, which is the mining, they were paying 1% on their gross production. Now, government says that the mining company is still making enough profit, and you and I can attest to it. If you look at our GDP, they contributed the largest. So government says, okay, since your profit margin is a bit higher, let's increase it from 1% to 3%, so that at least you can also contribute more from 2025. In fact, the law was supposed to have expired in 2025. But still, because the economy is not stabilized, they decided to increase it from 2025 to 2028. Hopefully, 2028, everything will stabilize and then they take it off. So that is the additional increment. It's an existing tax, just that they are increasing their rate from 1% to 3%. And all other rates that we pass in 2023 will remain the same.
I see. The minority calls this move anti-business.
You see, it's not a sunset clause. Yes, I've also heard the miners complaining that they were not consulted. But the rationale of this tax is that it's a temporary tax, and Ghana is under fiscal pressure. So give us something small to support the economy. Hopefully, in 3 years' time, we'll take it off. If you look at the way they keep running and extending the sunset clause, some of us have also expressed some concern that if you want to make it permanent, let's make it permanent. But given the fact that we are under pressure, it makes sense to let them contribute a little more to support. It's not a good sign that since 2001, so does it mean that we have not been able to stabilize the economy? Does it mean that we are still reconstructing the economy? But they keep, pushing it forward. I would have wished that we have a permanent time to, let it end. But you and I can attest that our economy keeps, floating, and we keep going to IMF. So it appears that this tax will continue to be there. But trust me, the behavior and the way we keep extending it, everybody will say that, look, you are not being friendly to the people. But they've given some justification. Other countries tax more, and we are not getting enough from our extractive sector. So let's take it that it is a temporary tax. It will go away.
Let me conclude on this. This is not readily in the budget. What the finance minister says is that we should expect some work to be done on it in April, the coming months. Because this morning I see GPHA, GRA strengthen collaboration. I've heard the Director General of the GPHA complain about duties at the ports and how it is becoming a disincentive to business. And also there's the matter of the way VAT is constructed now. How important is it that this government makes the corrections that are being asked for as soon as possible?
It is important. The VAT system, we have not constructed it well. You see, the essence of consumption tax, or from 1982 down the way to 93, we moved from sales tax. In 2018, the government did something which really hurt businesses. The the GET Fund and then the NPL were separated from the VAT. So it created a cascading effect, currently at 6%, which becomes a cost to businesses. We expect that to revert that thing, and they promise that they are going to revert it. That cascading effect has an impact at the port. And so, if you read the budget, you realize that they said they are going to defer the work on the VAT reform on that. And hopefully, when they do that, taxes should come down a little bit because of the cascading effect. The way we have calibrated it, it was really not good. We thought that we are raising in more money, but in the end, it is rather decreasing. Today, if you take 36 African countries, Ghana is the least in terms of VAT. Togo, VAT to their total tax contribution around 42% for 2021-2022. We are doing 18%. I mean, Ghana, we are better in terms of economic powers. We shouldn't be at the bottom. We should be at the top there. So the IMF and then the Ministry of Finance themselves did some study. And currently you can even see the report on their website. And that is why they have promised that they are going to do that reform. And for me, when that reform takes place, it's really going to help a lot.
Timore, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Timore Boye is a tax expert. We're trying to get some education as well as his reactions to the decisions that have been taken by government. This is Cashless Toforson's approach, Dr. Cashless Toforson's, the John Dramani Mahama approach. He says he prefers to impose a tax on the big companies that are doing well and lessen the burden on the average poor person, not pile it up. That is his move. A lot of people, if you speak to most of the experts, they call this budget one of the most responsive ones we've seen in our recent history. Someone even dared to say is the best budget he's had in recent times. By the meantime, Forum Bar and Grill is offering a fresh twist on local favorites. Craving a unique take on your favorite local dishes? Forum Bar and Grill serves us bold flavors, fresh ingredients, and unforgettable meals. Our menu features jollof rice, assorted jollof fried rice, assorted fried rice, banquet and okra stew, fufu with soup. You can locate us at Car Price near St. Paul Cathedral Church, Behe. I'll call the number 0244 529840 or 0547 594786. They are open daily except on Mondays. Come indulge in a taste of tradition with a modern twist. Forum Bar and Grill, SM
Adriani Papafi.
Yeah. And continue with the other business.
So say on in the Casa is Timore
Boye. Yeah.
Okay, Timore Boye. Or a tax expert.
Yes.
Ness, I want to know a 2 hour or a 1 day. What Timmy share 2 say 2